the Crusader Arms Templar. Let's check it out. Okay, today we're going to take a look at the Crusader Arms Templar. It's a short stroke piston with a mid-length gas system. It has a monolithic upper receiver that's great for being able to put optics wherever you want. It's a billet upper and lower receiver, black nitride throughout. It's a good quality rifle, and it has one of the F5 ACR style folding stocks. Really smooth shooting firearm. Piston driven guns are cleaner to shoot, and they're smoother, and they're very robust. Crusader Arms is based out of Canada, and they now have a manufacturing facility in Michigan. Now, I got this through Nate at Gun Zone Deals. He is the exclusive distributor for Crusader firearms, and we really appreciate the guys over at Gun Zone Deals for sending us different guns to bring to you guys. Crusader Arms Templar, 5.56, short stroke piston, mid-length gas system, black nitride finish all throughout, F5 ACR style stock, just a very solid firearm. Now this is again made in Canada. One of the things about an AR-15 is it's considered a restricted firearm, and it takes a lot of background checks, different paperwork to get an AR-15. With the Crusader Templar, it is a non-restricted firearm, and it's one of the reasons why Crusader Arms designed it. It's very close to the AR-180 design, which was made by Eugene Stoner, which was a short stroke piston system, but with a lot of upgrades. And that is a proven system, and piston systems are proven. One of the big things about a piston gun is they're just very durable. They're very robust, and so you can get a lot of rounds through them and have a great reliability. So first things first, we're going to remove our magazine. Standard AR-15 style button. It's one PMag that comes with the rifle. Check the chamber, and the gun's empty. Non-reciprocating charging handle right at the front. You bring it back, there is a notch to lock it into place, which allows for the big HK slap. And this can be switched to the other side. Personally, I like it on this side. It is metal and it's sturdy. Now the Monolithic Upper Receiver is one piece of billet 6061 T6 aluminum, made from one piece of bar stock. And then also the lower is a billet lower as well. But this gives you a lot of rigidity all throughout the upper receiver to where you can put optics wherever you want to. Even your PEC 15 or your deballed infrared lasers, I mean, they will retain zero up at the front. And it gives you a lot of real estate with those pick rails. The lower receiver takes your AR-15 parts, your trigger group, fire control group. You can change the trigger out with whatever you want to. It comes with a standard mil-spec trigger. This has one of the trigger tack triggers, which is a very smooth 2.2 pound trigger, and it is an upgrade on this rifle. And it does come with a Magpul Mo grip. The mag well does have a bevel, so it makes it really easy to get those mags in and out. And you have your shell deflector right here, and the bolt weighs 1 pound, so it is a really heavy, sturdy bolt. Now, being designed after the AR-180, it is a short stroke piston system, but the piston itself is 3/8 of an inch, which is a little bit heavier than the piston that was used in the 180, which gives it a little more strength. Comes with an A2 birdcage, half by 28 threads, 4041 chrome moly vanadium with a mid-profile barrel. A little bit more rigidity than the pencil barrel and not quite as heavy, again, as your H-bar. We have our mid-length gas system coming in right here. It is self-adjusting, and so we wanted to go ahead and test that out with some suppressors, which we'll show in a few minutes. The great thing about this system is the gas comes out. It doesn't go back into your action. There's some that will go there, but not a lot, and most of your carbon is going out the front. So it makes it really easy to clean. The F5 system's ACR style stock, press, pull it around, and it collapses to the other side. With a SCAR, it actually collapses to the right, and so that can block your ejection port. And it does have a really nice rubber butt pad, adjustable cheek piece, and it does adjust out, so you can set this to wherever you want to. And as the stock comes around, it does fit up next to the receiver. There's no detent here, so it is a little bit loose to a certain point, and then it stops. But it's really quick to deploy. You can fire this rifle with the stock folded to the side. Now, being an aluminum receiver with a steel bolt inside, they have a panel right here that is steel. And so this will ride on this steel rail, which is on the back side. And there's one on the other side as well. One of the things about aluminum is that with a steel bolt going through, it will wear over time. And this just gives you more stability and also more strength. You have your standard safety selector right here. The bolt release is definitely different, and it is proprietary. Now, bringing the charging handle back, your bolt release, you push it forward. And so it's very intuitive. You're not pulling it down, you're just pushing it, and it really slams that bolt home. But bringing it back, locking it into place, you just got to love that HK slap. And not only do you have reinforced steel rails for the bolt, also it has a steel trunnion that's reinforced. Now you have your takedown and you have your pivot pin. This is a little bit of a different distance between these two than your standard AR-15. And that's one of the reasons why this is a non-restrictive firearm in Canada. So you can't put an AR-15 lower on this receiver. Now with the trigger tack trigger, again, it is flat face. It is really crisp. About 2.2 pounds. I mean, it is incredible. Reset right there. I mean, reset is super fast as well. Now this is from the upgraded version. Typically it will have the mil-spec trigger in this rifle. And again, you can upgrade to whatever you want to. Now there are some pros and cons with a piston system versus a direct impingement like an AR-15. One of the big pluses though for your piston gun is that it just is easier cleanup. There's less gas going into your receiver. And with the direct impingement, you've got gas shooting into the bolt and bolt carrier, into your upper receiver, and then of course the bolt goes back into the stock with your buffer tube. Now that's one of the pluses for a piston gun is you can use a standard folding stock. You know, you can get the folding stock adapters for your AR-15, but you can't shoot it with the stock folded. With this you can. Another big plus is that they're very robust. Piston guns are very durable, they're very reliable, and they're built to really take a lot of rounds, and that's one of the big pluses. And this is better for a suppressor. You've got gas coming back with the suppressor, so it gives you what they call freedom gas in your face, typically with most ARs. With the piston system, it pushes the gas out the front of the barrel. So you're getting very minimal gas coming back into the receiver and thus getting you right in the face. And with that self-adjusting gas system that it has, you know, it's pushing that gas out and giving it enough for it to function. And guys, we had a great time, and shooting this suppressed was a pleasure. Now there are two downsides to a piston gun for me. Number one is the weight. This weighs 8.2 pounds, so it's not a light rifle. And that's without the optic. But most of your piston guns are on the heavy side. While these are very durable, if something does go wrong in the field, you can't fix it there, typically, if it's a catastrophic failure. With your DI guns, typically, you can repair them in the field. But the black nitride finish throughout makes it really smooth. The black nitriding on the barrel. I really think that's one of my favorite finishes for firearms. I want to thank Fiocchi for sponsoring the ammo, all made in the USA. One of the largest suppliers of ammunition in the country. I'll tell you what, very consistent. One of the big advantages of a piston system gun is it's just cleaner to shoot. With the gas system at the front, it doesn't come back into the action like your AR-15. It's very smooth operating because the bolt is right here in the center instead of coming back into your buttstock buffer tube. 5.56 is a fairly soft shooting round, but it really allows for a lot of balance with a piston gun. And two, piston guns are very durable. I mean, they're very robust. They're built to take a lot of rounds. And two, part of that is just not putting a lot of carbon into your upper receiver. With the monolithic upper, I mean, it gives you a lot of real estate. This handguard is really nice. I mean, it's very comfortable, it's thin, and it allows this gun to be very balanced. One thing I love about it is having that charging handle where I can do the HK slap. But all the controls are intuitive because they're very AR-15 like. Now, one of the reasons why I bring up the AR-15 a lot with this is because AR-15s are the most popular rifles in the US. And yet this is very easy transition to this system because of all the controls. The Primary Arms GLX 1:6 optic with the ACSS reticle, I mean, it's just a good quality optic. And to me, it surpasses most, mainly because of the reticle system, but the glass is really nice as well. And then with the Cloud Defense, Rain 2.0, I mean, that was something that actually Nate sent to go on the rifle. We're going to be doing a full review on it. But a very capable light. I love how the pressure pad switch just fits on the top. It makes it really fast to deploy. And a good solid 1100 lumen light. And then we throw on the suppressor, and we got the Liberty Amendment and put it on, and guys, with the self-adjusting gas system, it was just smooth operation. We didn't have any malfunctions with or without the suppressor. It just fed flawlessly. And we were really able to test out the suppressor, and I'll tell you guys, when you're shooting an AR-15 and that gas is coming back in your face, it's nice to have that piston system. That Freedom gas is nice, but it's really better to go out toward the front. And of course, we did a full review on the Liberty Amendment, and I'll have it annotated above. But just a really great system with the short stroke piston. The one thing is, though, it is heavier. But that does help tame the recoil. But even with the weight, it gives it balance and pointability. Here you have your takedown pin. It's in pretty tight. So we're going to take a non-marring punch. Just pop that out. And just push out your pivot pin. It's best to put your muzzle on the table and get your hand right here where you do have, this is under spring tension. So we're going to pull that out, and you can see the stock will catch it. And then we just bring out our springs. You've got your dual recoil springs. Bring your charging handle to the rear, and it will bring your bolt out. Go ahead and drop that out. Man, that is one beefy bolt. And you can see where the springs and the recoil system goes right back here. We have our firing pin, retainer pin, just like we do in your AR-15 bolt. You have a spring on the firing pin, and of course you can see that this is a little bit different than your standard AR-15. And you can see also that we have shot the fire out of this thing, and it is really dirty. Now we're going to pull out our cam pin, just comes right out, and then you can pull out your bolt. Also, similar to the AR-15, but definitely different. You don't have any gas rings, which is inherent with the DI gun. But a very robust, heavy block system. For assembly, we're just going to put our bolt back in. And when you drop in your cam pin, you'll notice that the flats are the ones that are going to go out the top. So we're going to drop that in, pull it down. Go ahead and reinsert our firing pin. Now the firing pin needs to be fully depressed, and you have to collapse that gap to get it to fit. There it goes. You want to make sure that that retainer pin is flush, or it will hit on the side of the receiver. And guys, that's it, but that is really a sturdy bolt. Now of course we have the trigger tack trigger in here, and so it's going to look a little different. But again, you can put any kind of AR-15 trigger kit in here, and you have that same safety as well. And this bar right here is part of your bolt release, and again you can see how it activates. It's a really solid system. This is your bolt stop, and again it is a bolt release. Make sure your cam pin is all the way forward and just reinsert it into the receiver. Lock it into place there. Now we're going to take our recoil springs and guide rods. We're going to line it up with the 2 holes in the bolt, and then it just goes in. And once it goes in, this is under spring tension, so we're going to have to put that with the lower receiver. Push down your bolt, go ahead and lock up your receiver. It catches on the stock. Push your pins through and push your pivot pin through like that. Check for function. I like doing that. Now we're back in business. Definitely a little bit different than your AR-15, but honestly easy enough. Now the price on the Crusader Arms Templar is $17.99 compared to an FN Scar 16, which is $3,000 to $3,200. I mean, this is coming in at close to half the price, and yet you're getting a lot of the same features. Short stroke piston. Of course, FN makes a really good quality gun, and the weight is just a touch lighter on the FN, but not by a lot. And as far as pros and cons, you know, the rifle is beautiful. I love the black nitride finish. The mid-length gas system makes it just softer shooting. The monolithic upper receiver, I mean, again, you have so many options to put whatever you want to on here. And of course, the AR-15 parts that you can switch out. And again, this is the upgraded trigger, but it will come with a standard mil-spec trigger for the base model for $17.99. I like the F5 ACR style stock. It just really sets this off. It does make it look similar to the Scar. A couple of downsides: it's heavy, you know, and it just is what it is. And that is inherent with your piston guns. Also with the stock, bringing it around, you know, I would like to see a detent here. It is just a little bit floppy right here, but it only comes out to so far, but it is very quick to deploy. So overall, a solid rifle. We put about 800 rounds through it. We didn't have one hiccup. So a lot of quality that goes into this. And again, clean, smooth shooting, and very solidly built. So guys, if you're looking for a piston gun, but you don't want to pay $3,200 for an FN Scar 16, I think that the Crusader Templar is coming in at a very reasonable price at $17.99. And again, lifetime warranty on it. And we really do appreciate Nate over at Gun Zone Deals for sending the Templar for this review. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America. Long live the Republic. And we really appreciate them. And we want to thank Gun Zone Deals for sending the Templar. This is definitely, they wanted to have a little bit better, we really appreciate, but I'll be able to show you a lot of things. And then we're going to take some time to get some bull crap going.